If y'all recall last year, the team I was riding hard for last season in women's college basketball was UCLA. I had picked UCLA to win the national championship. I had picked Lauren Betts to be the player of the year. I said that she should turn pro because I thought she'd be the number one pick in the draft. I still think that you always draft a big over a little um, when that big is just so dominant around the basket and is pretty much unguardable because of her size and her touch around the hoop. And then they went and got absolutely freaking drop kicked by UConn in the final four. I mean, completely run off the floor, exposed for their issues. And I'm sitting here wondering now, a year later, does UCLA have what it takes to get over the hump against UConn, which could very well be a national championship matchup? If all continues as status quo, UCLA will be on the bracket opposite of UConn, and they'll be facing more than likely South Carolina in the Final Four, and the winner of that game will move on to play UConn more than likely in the national championship. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We talk facts over feelings, powered by Come On Out the Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts. Follow us on our social media platform, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball on Instagram. Let's jump in on this thing, man, because like I said, I rode hard for UCLA last year. By the way, this Sunday, there's supposed to be some type of preview to the UCLA USC game, and some clips from my podcast from a year ago were used in this thing. From what I'm being told, I've been asked, I was requested for clips. I gave them. I presume they're going to be used. I'm looking forward to see what they got. It's going to be before the USC game, so let's see what happens, man. But I'm honored that they asked me for the clips. And this all was after the season ended, and they lost all their freshmen. They lost a lot of players off last year's UCLA team. But hey, man, you got to give them some credit because UCLA is sitting right now at 27-1, ranked second in the country. Their only loss was a loss by 11 early this season against Texas, 76-65. Otherwise, they got wins over Oklahoma, North Carolina, Ohio State, USC, Nebraska, Maryland, Iowa, Michigan State, and they got one game left on the schedule. That's USC before moving into the Big Ten tournament as they sit currently again at 27-1 and 17-0 in the Big Ten. So they're probably going to go undefeated in conference because they play USC this weekend. USC is not that good. They beat USC by 34 in their first matchup this year. So does UCLA have what it takes to complete what I said they would do last year? The roster, it's big. They're a big team. They got Lauren Betts, 6'7" center. You know, you got Angela Dugalich, 6'4" forward. You got Tamia Gardner, 6'3" forward. They got some big women on this team, man. This is not a small group. That's for dang sure. They added, and then this year they added some shooting. They also do have Lauren Betts' younger sister, Sienna Betts, who's 6'4". She has been on the court of late, getting about 15 to 20 minutes of basketball action per game, which I think could be a big thing for them. She missed early games this year. I believe she had some injury issues, but she's currently averaging 7 points on 52.5% shooting. Season high this year of 14 against Long Beach State earlier this year in December. But she's played some games over 20 minutes. So could she be an impact player down the stretch in the tournament? Remains to be seen. But they got some size, right? And that's really what they had last year. The guard play is the question. They did add Gianna Nitkins out of Utah. She this year, she's a 6-foot guard. She's averaging 13 a game. Big drop from what she was doing last year at Utah, averaging 19.3 points per game. But her field goal shooting percentage has gone up from 50.4 to 53.3% from the field and 46% from three. So she has seen an improvement in her efficiency, but she's taking a lot less shots. So she's taking 3 less shots per game, not getting the same amount of opportunities at the free throw line that she did last year. But could she be that secret weapon that people forgot about? They got Gabriela Jaquez, Jaime Jaquez's little sister. She's a 6 foot guard. She's averaging right now this season 14 points per game on 54.7% shooting. She's shooting 34% from three. I'm sorry, no. She's shooting 41% from three. Her three-point shooting has gone up a great deal. Best season of her career at UCLA. So you gotta wonder. I mean, do they have the weapons to get the job done? And of course, they do have Kiki Rice at point guard, experienced 5'11" senior, averaging over 15 a game on 51% shooting, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. She's shooting 41% from these. So all of the things that they struggled to do last year, they're doing at a much higher clip, particularly when it comes to shooting the rock. Tamia Gardner comes up. She's averaging 39.5% from three. So you got these players that are shooting the ball a lot better. Dugalich, she's shooting 36.4 from three. So their shooting has come a long way as a team, and that could be a major difference. And of course, Lauren Betts is their horse down low. She's averaging 16.7, 8.6 boards, 3.1 assists. Now her field goal percentage has dropped. She's shooting 56.8%. Last year she was at almost 65%. And her career, she's been upwards of over 60%. So it's interesting that her field goal percentage has dropped so much. Don't know what the deal is there. But look, man, end of the day, it's going to come down to two teams, South Carolina and UConn. That's what it's going to be. All the other shit is semantics. They'll beat everybody else. They'll beat everybody else. I questioned their coaching in the past. I thought that their coaching at times was really poor. I don't care how many games you win. When you lose, when you have a talented roster like this and you can't get it done, that's on that it could be on players, but it could also very well be on coaching. So, and I thought there were lots of coaching mistakes last year. This is my opinion. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. They got to dominate in the post. Like that is a necessity. They have to dominate opponents down low, and they have to be able to control tempo. Tempo is critical. If they get into a track meet with UConn, they will get run off the floor. It ain't going to be any different than last year. They will get run off the floor. They got to be able to control tempo. They got to be able to hit perimeter shots. They got to be able to hit perimeter shots because last year, yeah, we can go back and look at that game against UConn and see what they did there in that 85-51 loss. I mean, Lauren Betts had 26 points of the 51 points. That should give you a pretty decent indicator. They shot 25% from three, 38% from the field. Lauren Betts was 11-18. Everybody else disappeared. Dugalich did nothing. Jaquez had 0. London Jones at the time had 0. Kiki Rice had 8. They got nothing off their bench. They just got their ass kicked. They got their ass kicked. They got dominated. And they even got dominated on the glass. You know, so this is a situation for which they have got to dominate inside and they've got to hit some perimeter shots. And it looks like they've improved a great deal there. So they could be formidable. Now, if you ask me my opinion, I stand on what I've said before. I think UConn's going to run away with this goddamn thing. But hey, UCLA is one of the teams that has a shot. They're one of the teams that has a shot. It's really to me UCLA and South Carolina. I don't think Texas stands a chance. I just don't. I think Texas is like South Carolina light, and they play the same way, but they're just not as good. And but UCLA in the right situation, could they get it done? Possibly. I've said it before. Everyone's beatable. Just depends on the day of the week, how you play. Like I said about just like I said about South Carolina, it will take UCLA playing, if not their best game, about as well as they could possibly play, and it will take UConn playing like shit. I mean, just being real. Just being real. They have if they play UConn like they played Iowa when they beat them by 23, that's the type of game that could get them a W. Like if they play like they played versus Michigan State where they won by 23 as well. Another type of game like that. Those are the types of game that would be the type of game they would have to play to get the job done. But can they do it? We shall see. I would say no, but I do appreciate them using my content on their video. I'm honored. I thank them. And y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. What do you think of this team? I think one of the glaring issues with this team is that while Kiki Rice is a 15-point per game scorer, I just don't see her as being that girl. Like, I just don't. She doesn't do enough, in my opinion, for what she's supposed to be. Like, you're 15 points per game, right? You're the point guard, right? And you're averaging 4.5 assists. You're averaging 4.5 assists. You're the point guard. She's second on the team in assists to Charlize Ledger-Walker, who's averaging 8.5, 4.2 boards, and 5.7 assists. That's weird. That's wild to me. That's wild to me. Kiki Rice is supposed to be your point guard. I mean, maybe they made a flip, and maybe I haven't watched them a whole bunch this year, but Kiki Rice is not a shooting guard. I've never viewed Kiki Rice as a shooting guard. I've always viewed her as the point guard. Even last year with London Jones. London Jones wasn't very good. I've said that before. London Jones was really someone they spotted up in the corner to hopefully hit some threes because she didn't do anything to make anybody better. I just think you need more to Kiki Rice. Like you need Kiki. Similarly to what I said about South Carolina, I think where Joyce Edwards and Tanaya Latson have to go off. I think you need Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice to go off to have a chance against UConn. But yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave your comments once again, and thank you for watching. This is Her Game, Her Way, women's basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.